Welcome to another episode of our trio. And first, we're talking about hoods in America. Then we're talking about Egypt. Then after that, we're talking about segregation. Our trio, let's go.
Do it, 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 do it.
Hoods in America. I know a lot of people are proud of where they live at, and there's nothing wrong with that. Take pride in what's yours. But a lot of us don't own anything. We live in government assisted apartments. And a lot of us are so willing to die over a neighborhood that we don't own. And then in a lot of hoods, outside people get treated better than we do. We've been living in this country for hundreds of years. And you see someone that come over here from the Middle East or Japan, China, or Asia, one of them places, and where do they put their business at? They don't put it over there in the suburbs. They usually put their business in the hood and get rich off of us. We didn't choose where we was at. Back in the day, they forced us to be in those spots. It wasn't a choice. I live in a small town. And what I heard from the old school is that this side of town where I live at was called Color Town. And in Color Town, you had a curfew. You can go anywhere in town and work. But after 9 o'clock, you better be back over the tracks. That's how they separate. There's some train tracks to where I live at. It's the east side. And they said back in the day, if you was anywhere on the other side of town after 9 o'clock and you wasn't back over them tracks, may God have mercy on your soul. So we were put in these places, and we still don't own nothing in these places. That's why it's important, if you own a piece of land, own a house, a store, or anything, don't sell it. Keep it in the community. Keep it in your family. Because what a lot of these white people are doing, they realize that it's expensive where they live at. You know, for a house in California, you know, places like that in the suburbs, a little house can cost you about $1 million. So they said they get to the point where they don't want to pay all that money for a house. So they come into the hood. It's called gentrification. Basically, they come in and clean up the community. But what it really is, the house is just so expensive where they stay, they come over here and buy it for cheap. Because someone always willing to sell them a house. And they buy the property for cheap and fix it up. Then they move into it. Then before you know it, they build a store. Then before you know it, we can't afford none of the houses in our own neighborhood. And we gotta leave. We get kicked out of where we from. Gentrification, Egypt. Now, a lot of white people got the nerve to say Egyptians was white people. Huh? How? Egypt is a desert. The sun is gleaming all day. They didn't even have sunscreen back then. So how would y'all survive in that weather? Crazy. Now, black people say it's black people was there. A lot of people don't know that Egypt is in Africa. So if you don't know that Egypt is in Africa, it linked Africa with the Middle East. So that's why a lot of people say Egypt is not a part of Africa, it's a part of the Middle East. But people say that there wasn't no black people in Egypt. That's kind of insane because Egypt is in Africa. So you think African people wouldn't go to Egypt if it's in Africa? In the same way for Middle Eastern people. It's kind of insane for us to think that Middle Eastern people wasn't in Africa as well. So I believe it was a blend. It was a blend between Middle Eastern people and African people. And that's what made Egypt. That's just my opinion though, because I don't believe it can be one race. It's kind of insane to think Africa is right here and in the Middle East is right here. And none of them will come together. It would just be Egyptian people, African people, and Middle Eastern people. That's kind of crazy. I think it's all mixed up. And then you had a lot of white people that went and studied Egypt, seeing how magnificent the pyramids were made. To this day, buildings that are made are not that amazing. They say they didn't have math back in the day, but obviously they did. You don't make something that great without having no intelligent mind in mathematics. And it was so great that a lot of white people said the aliens did it. They didn't want to give us credit for it, so they were like, we know they can't do that, so we're going to say the aliens did it. Come on. A lot of us just don't realize how great we are, how great our minds is. Our people build pyramids, our people build castles. We can do great things. Segregation. I believe at the time, everyone who would try to desegregate everything was doing it for the betterment of black people. But I believe in the long run, desegregation was actually a bad thing. I mean, think about it. The white people up north always have everything together. They didn't have no white water fountains and black water fountains just for one water fountain. You know why? Because they was all about the money. They said, what sense would it make to have to make 2 restrooms, which is going to cost more money? They was all about the money. And they understood that, so the South was kind of slow in the head. They was like, well, get out to be, like slow in the head. That's why a lot of the people down south get the stereotype that they kind of slow. Because why would you build 2 restrooms, which is going to cost you more money? Why would you build 2 water fountains that's going to cost you more money when you just can build 1? So, I'm not saying they didn't hate us up north. They just loved their money more than they hated us. And so, down south, when everything did finally get desegregated and we all integrated with each other, a lot of the black businesses went out of business. Because now everyone was like, we got this black taxi cab service, but I always wanted to ride this white taxi cab, so I'm about to see what this is about now. We always so eager to fit in. We want to fit in all the time. And when we try to fit in, we end up not supporting each other. Like take a lot of rappers and athletes that get famous. You know the first thing they do? They go move in the suburbs, go move in a white community, go move in a white gated community. Take all their money out the hood and go give it to the white people. We gotta fix our community. We can't run away from the problems. It's not gonna be easy. I know it's violent in the community. There's a chance of you getting killed when you come back. It's not easy, but we gotta be brave enough to stay and fix the problem. We can't keep running. Cause we keep running, it's never gonna get fixed. Thank you for watching our trio. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. I still got the bank charges and I'm still selling our trio shirts.